Hey, this is Mario from CHGO Blackhawks.
This is sales guy Jim from the CHGO ad sales team.
Making his debut. And this is CHGO Tavern Style. Tavern Style is presented by Salerno's Pizza. Head over to the Grand Avenue location and call 312-666-3444 to make a reservation today. And today we are talking about the big night from Sunday night at the United Center, Patrick Kane's return to Chicago as a member of the Red Wings. It was obviously the big celebration was Chris Chelios' retirement night, but today we're going to focus specifically on Patrick Kane's return and the way that game on Sunday ended. If you did not know, did not see, Patrick Kane scored the overtime winner against the Blackhawks, his former team, as you all know, and gave it to the crowd. Did a little Showtime celebration, and I was initially shocked at the response by the United Center. It was about 85% of a raucous cheer as Patrick Kane scored. And I'd say it was close to 50% Red Wings fans and Blackhawks fans. So you'd think there's at least a half a cheer in there. But I was shocked at how big of an ovation in that moment that Kane got.
People were very upset about that. People were upset that people were cheering. It was online. People were very, shared a lot of opinions. And I guess it is very divisive. Mm-hmm. If, your favorite player comes back and beats your team, how are you supposed to feel about that? What does hockey culture say? What is the unwritten rules of hockey? Like,
well, they're unwritten.
How did you feel about it? Like, what was you said you were feeling things. How did you feel?
I mean, it's such a complicated emotion for me because, you have Patrick Kane's return. He has the video tribute. He has the three curtain calls after the tribute, which is all warranted. I mean, what he did and what he stands for as a Blackhawk in his career and the legend that he is, worth it, 100%. He got the shout out during Chelios's speech as well, and he is beloved. He is you talk to so many people that are Blackhawks fans, and they are going to say he is their favorite player ever. He is the best Blackhawk ever. He is. I mean, he probably leads that discussion for most fans. And so I want to preface this before I say this. All of that is valid and true. He got everything he deserved from Blackhawks fans on Sunday night. The cheering of a Detroit Red Wing scoring an overtime winner in the United Center against the Blackhawks and giving it, back to the fan base from Sunday night to now, that has made my blood boil because look, the Red Wings-Blackhawks rivalry has died in the last decade since the Red Wings bitched and moaned their way to the Eastern Conference, right? The 2013 Western Conference semifinal, Brent Seabrook buries the overtime winner, knocks him out of the playoffs. That is the peak lasting memory of that rivalry, and the rivalry has needed something to spark it back up. And I am of the thought that moment should be a spark back into the rivalry. I understand Patrick Kane more than most in his legacy. I have a Patrick Kane jersey. I have a Patrick Kane jersey. I have a cardboard cutout in my basement of Patrick Kane that used to be in my parents' house. I love Patrick Kane as a Blackhawk. But all of that acknowledged, it is still Chicago and Detroit. And how is that not a big fuck you, buddy?
But he is a player that you're like, this is one of my favorite players. Like, the only thing that changed is that he wears a different jersey. Like, do you like
but
the
it's
player,
a Red Wings
like
jersey. It's a Red Wings jersey.
But do you like the player or do you like the team?
I loved Patrick Kane as a Blackhawk. The fact that he's on Detroit is a little weird, and it got weirder and worse on Sunday for me. And look, from a rivalry standpoint, this is the point I'm making. From a rivalry standpoint, that should be the spark that makes it a little bit. That should bring some sting back, because if you're chanting Detroit sucks all night last night, and then you cheer Patrick Kane, there's some weirdness there. There's a little weirdness there.
I guess, but I mean, he played here for 16 years. He played over 1,100 games. 446 goals, 1,200 points,
yeah.
and all of a sudden, because he wears a different jersey, you're like, I don't want him to succeed anymore.
It's
like,
not
that's
that,
crazy.
but that's a rivalry, right? That is what a rivalry is, though, between
team,
Detroit and
yes,
Chicago.
The team, but if your favorite player scores the goal, like I'd be like, hell yeah, all right, Kane did some cool shit again.
Yeah.
It sucks that it happened against our team, but like you can't cheer this guy for 16 years and then all of a sudden he gets kicked out of town by your favorite team. And then he comes back and scores a badass looking goal, and all of a sudden be like, "Oh, that sucks." I
appreciate his entire career. Like I appreciate all of that as a Blackhawk. I appreciate all the 3 cups, his MVP season, all the lasting memories. I appreciate that. From a strictly, and I can't express this enough, from a strictly Detroit-Chicago rivalry stance. For as many years, they were honoring Chris Chelios. For as many years as the Red Wings clowned the Blackhawks in the late 90s, early 2000s, up until basically Patrick Kane showed up in Chicago, that animosity towards the team you would think would still be there for most people. And I get it.
Did you say animosity?
Yes.
I'm glad you said that, because on 11/28/23 at Mario Tirabassi tweeted, Patrick Kane playing there, referring to Detroit, is going to be weird visually, but I feel no animosity about it. He's forever a Blackhawk anyways.
About him.
He scored the goal.
Yes,
so
for the Red Wings.
Why wouldn't you cheer
For the
him?
Red Wings.
He scored the goal. Way to go, Patrick. I have no animosity towards you.
I don't have any animosity towards him.
Yay, Patrick.
I am not shouting from the rooftops, I love Patrick Kane, the Detroit Red Wing. I am saying, look, if he has success in Detroit, fine. But at the expense of the Blackhawks in the United Center, still Detroit versus Chicago. If you are embedded in that rivalry, which I would think a lot of Blackhawks fans still are, especially on Sunday night with the demographic of fans that saw Chris Chelios play as a Blackhawk, there is still that animosity that I would believe between Detroit and Chicago that would not garner the 80-85% cheer when he scores.
Boo the other guys that scored.
I did.
Boo Dylan Larkin that scored. But Patrick Kane scores, I'm like, all right, I like that guy. I hope he's happy.
If he scored the game-tying goal, right, instead of Alex DeBrincat, another former Blackhawk, then I think he gets the cheer. That's fine. The overtime winner in a game where, yes, I understand the Blackhawks are not competing for jack shit this year. I get that. I am in those trenches with the fans. I know that is the case. But that's a game that you would think you'd want to win. You don't want to still allow him to go away and be like, I got the winner in the United Center as the opposition. Like there's still got to be that fire inside you that says, I don't want the Red Wings to have any success at the expense of the Blackhawks.
I mean, as a fan, I like to see players perform, and I like to see them, players that I like to see them achieve success. So when he scored, I was like, awesome. That was pretty cool.
From a pure hockey standpoint, if I take this Connor Bedard t-shirt off,
do it.
From a pure hockey standpoint, yep, that was awesome. The whole night was awesome, and it was capped off by an incredible moment, purely from a hockey standpoint. From me as a Blackhawks fan, I did not want to see the Red Wings win that game.
Okay.
That's it.
One thing we can agree on,
Salerno's pizza is delicious. Hey, check out Salerno's on tap at 1201 West Grand Avenue in Chicago. Enjoy their tavern style pizza, ice cold beers before heading over to Blackhawks and Bulls games. Dine in, watch the games live on their big screen TVs, and call them for carry out and delivery. Head to salernospizza.com, or you can call them at 312-666-3444 for more information.
I'm going there tomorrow. You coming? For lunch?
What time is it?
Salerno's? I don't know. We'll say 11:30 to 12:30.
Blackhawks practice might run into that, but after that, I'll try and heading over there.
All right. Anybody that's listening, come on over to Salerno's tomorrow.
There you go. Lunch on Jim.
Lunch on Jim.
We all silly like the mayor.